Finally, the Woobats have come back to Draft League. Despite recent poor performances, the Welsh Woobats have been accepted to compete in Wakeland's prestigious Great Lakes Draft League for their 8th season. This season is very unique and, for me, really interesting. And let's face it, a phenomenal opportunity both to learn and to compete against the best. So I cannot thank Wakeman and the mods over in the league enough taking a chance on an up-and-comer clown like me. Typically, the way GELDL works is they have 3 separate divisions of 12 players: Basque Legion, Gyarados, and Venison. This season, those divisions aren't going to be completely separate. 12 coaches have been selected, and there was a snake draft where those 12 coaches selected 2 additional players to create a Team 3. Each of those coaches plays out the division with a win granting 3 points to the team and a loss granting 1 point. Forfeits granting nothing. Top 2 teams of 3 players then receive a bye, and the next 4 teams of 3 players play out a best of 3 individual. 2 out of 3 player wins, sending the team through to the next round. I was shockingly not last overall. I'll let that sink in for a second. This guy, this clown, this meme was not last pick. I was drafted by Dan alongside Sebexi. Sebexi I kind of know from my really brief stint in TGR doing the tag team league with Draco. Very good, very well respected player. Dan I've never met before, but so far I'm really excited to work with him. I love his style of play and the way he thinks about the game, and I get to learn from 2 incredible players across the season, and hopefully not be the reason we don't go on playoffs. Now, not only is the league's structure an interesting twist on the draft concept, so is the draft itself. The draft will kick off with an auction of restricted Pokemon, where team captains will bid on 2 restricteds shared across the team, one of which can be brought to battle each week, and neither of them can Terra. Each player has 480 points, which the cost of these 2 restricted mons will be subtracted from. Then select 9 more Pokemon to round out the squad for the season. See why I like this. This is so fun. So many mons that I've never got to play with before. So many new players that I've never competed against before. And I could get carried through the whole damn thing. Don't worry, Dan. Not going to happen. I am putting in max effort for this. Right, let's get to our actual draft. We discussed it as a team, and we really wanted to try and pick up 2 really cheap restricted in the auction, so we could blow our budget on a bunch of 75 point tier 1 Pokemon that we could bring to absolutely every battle. This went a little bit wrong very early. We ended up with a 70 point restricted, which not too bad, but I think we were aiming more for like 40, 50 points, so The catch being, that restricted is one of the very best in the competitive meta right now. Zama Zenta crowned. How the hell did we get this for less than a tier 1? Seriously excited to use the shield on. Getting it that cheap, honestly, an absolute steal for me. Our second restricted, however, we did get incredibly cheap. And it's one of my son's favourites. So again, I'm pretty excited to use this thing. Ray Wazer. With 2 big hitters in the PC, it's time to get to the actual squad. These are drafted completely individually within your league. We did, or at least I did, try and get close to what the 2 other guys were drafting, just to make it easier for them to kind of help me with prep, since I'd be using the same or similar Pokemon into same or similar squads. It was an idea, it didn't work out, but there's enough overlap that I think it should be okay. We all got fantastic slots in the draft. I got second pick. I believe Bexy got second and Dan got third, or maybe it was the other way around. We were all really early in the draft anyway. So as long as the number 1 pick doesn't snipe what is a pretty damn obvious top pick for me, I'm golden. Genpao. Fast, it's crazy hard, makes all the physical attackers hit even harder. It's an absolute no-brainer to pair with Zama and Ray. I've been desperate to use the Sword Cat in draft. Yes, it's predominantly a Sashmon in regular competitive, but in draft, it doesn't have to be. I've got some really fun ideas how to use it. I had a nice long wait until my second pick, which gave me plenty of time to figure out what 2 Pokemon would best round out the core 4 with Zama or Ray and Shenpao. With Zama, I'd like a ground resist. And with Ray, I'd like redirection or fake out to help get it set up, or just generally keep it safe, since it's such a frail mon compared to all the others. There was one mon that's probably pretty damn obvious to a lot of you that fills both of these roles, and shockingly, I actually managed to get it with my second pick. Wellspring Ogerpon. Direction, hunter support options, great damage output whether you're running it as a support or as a DPS. And even more damage output when I slap it next to Shenpao. Being a ground resist and able to scare off most of the mons that would hit Zama for super effective damage is completely no-brainer pick. With the third pick, I wanted a flexible, special attacking Pokemon. And I really struggled to find one. So, after seeing Bexy's picks, I decided on the most flexible Pokemon in Tier 1. And a Pokemon I really wanted to use in the recent RDL season, but it just didn't fit the team. Ew. The ability to learn almost any TM in the game makes this thing a nightmare for anyone to prep for, and an amazing tool for me to use to patch bad matchups. It could be full support, bulky attacker with a few support tools, physical, special. It's a crazy Swiss Army knife Pokemon that I dropped in the Grace trades. As you'll see in the rest of the draft, I needed some help against Intimidate while not losing special attacking power or utility that it brought. So during Grace, out went Mew, and in came one of the mons I'd been looking at from the very beginning and trying to squeeze in the entire draft. Galarian Articuno. Competitive, Tailwind, Trick Room, silly bulky, only 5 points slower and a massive 25 points more special attack. So, yes, we lost a ton of coverage options and a bunch of support tools, but gained competitive and a ground immunity to really help Zamazenta and the rest of the team. My next two picks were made based on having Mew in this slot, but they just work as well, if not better, with Articuno. First up, Comfy. Priority healing, solid defensive fairy type support with Tailwind, Trick Room, Encore, Charm, Haunt. There's not much this thing can't do, except damage. It's not going to be outputting huge damage, which I normally look for in my fairy types, but it is going to be tough to remove and is going to elongate presence of my big hitters and draw a lot of attention from them. Next pick, Pokemon I've used very recently and really glazed up in the RDL Season 5 review. Grafty. I love the role consolidation of Fake Out and Intimidate. It was essentially Incineroar before Incineroar. I wish it had a pivot move, but it's still able to come in, Intimidate, Fake Out, soak a hit or two, Twitch, or just stay in and heal back up with Drain Punch. Bulky, annoying to deal with, and it's really going to help get this team rolling. 4 ones left, 85 points remaining. We're looking pretty solid. There were a few things I needed from these picks though. Fire type, and a poison type, which would give me 2 fairy resists to balance out, along with poison and fire resists that I'm kind of lacking. This would also give me 2 more ground weakness. So I would also need ground resist or ideally an immunity. I use my next 2 picks to address the fire and poison requirements. Cinderace, Toxtricity. Cinderace got super glazed up by Tommy and some really fun tech that I can't wait to use, along with being able to hit pretty damn hard. Tox, I love Toxtricity. I had so much fun using it in RDL, and being able to use Paranormal Spec Boom Burst next to a bulky as hell Steel type in Zamazenta be ridiculously fun. Rounding out the draft, 2 picks that I got rid of in Grace. The Raptor, backup Intimidate Mon, and that ground immunity that I wanted. Also gave me access to Tailwind, but yet another physical attacker. So I decided to forego the second Intimidator. Traded for a special attacker, which, thanks to the Articuno pickup, didn't need to be ground immune, or even a resist. I also wanted this slot to have access to screens as a different way of mitigating damage. After a rather fun conversation with Draco, I settled on Espathra. The Ostrich has 3 really good abilities. Speed Boost, to help it be the first to act. Frisk, to let me see opponent's items. an opportunist wave setup. In addition to the screens, it also has brick, feather dance, ally switch, and a signature move that reduces special defense by 2. Decent coverage, U-turn to pivot. This thing's gonna be so fun to use, and hopefully I can get really creative with it. Final pick was Quagsire. Basically, I wanted a ground type here, and I've used Quag before. It's cheap, it has a bunch of nice support tech. However, when I figured out I wanted to make trades I did, I really wanted to upgrade this to Swampert. Yeah, another wide guard user. However, Swampy got sniped. So I had to change the plan. After a lot of thinking, I settled on another ground type starter with wide guard. Tor Terra. Unfortunately, it does give me another fire weakness, which I really didn't want. But it has a lot of the tools I was looking for in Swampert and gives me a more physically defensive pivot. Plus, I can click the funny shell smash button. Overall, I'm not entirely happy with the draft. There's a few picks that I wouldn't normally have made, and I'd have liked the type coverage to be a little better, but I was really struggling to find a ton of value in the lower tiers. I was also kind of taken aback by the only 3 trades in Grace, but that's on me for not reading the docs properly. It's certainly a fun team and a very me team, despite the weird speed tiers. And because I didn't really prep at all for the draft, it's given me more confidence that I don't need to put all that prep in every single draft. I'm just not super confident in the last 3 picks. Hopefully I get proven wrong, but no matter what, this is going to be a fun season, and I could not be more excited. So, drop a sub to follow along with the draft content and see how this absolute madness plays out. I will see you all in days for my week 1 match.